What's up, traders? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be covering redistribution and reaccumulation. I had a comment by Slick Peters that asked me to make a video on trading redistribution and reaccumulation and how you can train your eyes to notice them more. We're going to be going over what redistribution and reaccumulation looks like, when you can expect reaccumulation, redistribution, and potentially how you could trade reaccumulation and redistribution. Okay. The first thing you must know about reaccumulation and redistribution is that they are continuation moves. Okay, so meaning that they're going to happen inside of trending markets, right? Whether the market is trending lower, whether the market is trending higher. These continuation moves is what continues the market in that direction. Okay, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. In a bearish scenario, when the market is going down, as you see right now on EU, you can see we have many redistributions that I marked out, right? You have a redistribution here, redistribution there, redistribution there, redistribution. This can be considered a redistribution right here. And then we have another redistribution right here, redistribution, redistribution. You guys can see the amount of redistributions going towards the downside. Okay, redistributions only happen in bearish markets and bearish trending markets. Okay, so that's the time you're going to expect redistributions. All right, now for the opposite side, reaccumulation, let me go ahead and use USHIF as a great example. You have reaccumulation, reaccumulation, tiny reaccumulation, another reaccumulation, reaccumulation, reaccumulation. You guys can see where I'm going with this, right? So a reaccumulation is going to happen in a bullish trending market. So before we jump down further into explaining this, if you guys want to join the mentorship, the link is in the description. If you guys have any questions about that, you can hit me up on Instagram, right? We have many other links in the description. Our ebook is in there. You can contact me for one-on-one sessions, whatever the case may be, guys. You can hit me up on Instagram. Okay, so let's jump right into this. Now, what does a reaccumulation and redistribution looks like? It's as simple as this. So you're going to have two forms of what a reaccumulation would look like. And that's what we're going to start off with first. A reaccumulation is only going to happen in a bullish market. Okay. So simply a reaccumulation occurs after an accumulation. So there has to be an accumulation prior to a reaccumulation continuing, because the accumulation starts the trend. So basically you're going to have this happen. Let's say the market's going down. So essentially what's going to happen here is this accumulation right here. This accumulation, which shows a changing of hands, that's all accumulation is doing, is telling you that the market is going from sellers to buyers. Okay, it's a changing of hands. So once that happens, that means the trend is changing. So essentially what you could say is this right here, if I would put more price action into it, could have been a redistribution, right? But since we have a changing of hands that's happening and occurring in the market, we know that the trend is changing, so the market is likely to go higher. So after this accumulation occurs, you're going to have the market trend up, and then you're going to have this happen. The market is going to create a reaccumulation. All this is a continuation move. So you have accumulation right here where buyers got into the market to change the trend, and then you have a reaccumulation, which is ensuring that buyers are in the market and buyers are continuously buying the market towards the upside. You're going to have that happen multiple times. You're going to have another reaccumulation occur, probably going to have another reaccumulation occur until we get to a point of supply, or we get to an area, until we feel that objective that the market wants to do what? Change hands again. Once we change hands again, it's going to look like this. We're going to go up. Let's say you reach an area of supply. The market is going to start distributing. Okay, market is going to start distributing, and now instead of creating reaccumulations, we're going to create redistributions. All right, and they're going to look like this, going towards the downside. I'm going to go ahead and draw this out some more. Market is going to look like this, going towards the downside. You're going to have these redistributions like that. Okay, so a reaccumulation and a redistribution are exactly the same thing. They're just on opposite sides. You're going to have reaccumulation look two ways. The market is going to continue up. You're going to have a slowly come down and create this trend right here, this quote unquote trend line liquidity, which we call our creek right there. And basically what this creek right here is telling you, it is telling you that sellers are not interested in this market. Okay, that is showing us momentum, because usually what you'll have is you'll have a huge bullish impulse, and then you'll have this weak selling pressure, which is indicating that a potential reaccumulation is coming up ahead. Okay, that's how you can kind of predict reaccumulation, is when you start seeing this creek form and you're seeing that sellers are not really interested, especially after we have an accumulation that occurred. Once you see this weak selling pressure, you could almost predict this weak selling pressure, because you know the market has already changed hands after we had this reversal right here from the accumulation, right? So that's a way you can kind of predict reaccumulation, is when you're in a bullish trend. When I'm in a bullish trend and you know the market is continuing towards the upside, the best way that I'm going to look for more entries and look for more continuations is by these reaccumulation schematics. I want to see sellers not interested. Once we get this break of this high that confirms our reaccumulation, guess what? This right here becomes a demand zone, because we know buyers were active here and we continuously bought the market from this area. So now, instead of me waiting for us to come back down into this demand zone, we have a fresh demand zone that is created right here that I could potentially look for buys inside of. Okay, now depending on the time frame that this happened, depending if it happened on lower time frame or higher time frame, is gonna dictate whether you're going to take a limit order or you're going to wait for lower time frame entries inside of here. Okay, because understand that this reaccumulation could be on a higher time frame, and guess what? You could have a Wyckoff pattern right here. You can have an accumulation, and guess what? You're going to have a reaccumulation within this one move right here. So understand that, because as you guys know, the market is very fractal. All right, but the basis of this I want you to understand is, why does reaccumulation happen? What is the purpose of it, and how can you trade off of it? So basically, a reaccumulation is going to be your bullish demand continuation, right? It's going to be a bullish demand zone for you. So essentially what you want to do is you want to wait for the market to get back into this reaccumulation area, whatever the last manipulation of this reaccumulation was. We call that the shakeout, which is technically like a spring, but it's not. So it's just a different term, but it means the same thing. It is the last manipulation. So your order block, whatever you want to call it, you know, your sponsor candle that is left in here that is unmitigated, that is going to be the area that you're going to look for entries from. It's that simple. Now, a redistribution is exactly the same, but it's just flipped. You're going to look something like this. All right. The market is going to impulsively move down. We're going to have this weak buyers come into the market. Then we're going to get a huge impulse towards the downside. You're going to look for that last order block that created this drive towards the upside. You're going to wait for the market to come back inside of here. You're going to look for sales towards the downside. Same thing, just on the opposite side. It is that simple. So let's go ahead and look at some examples inside of the market so you can see what the market's version of what a reaccumulation and redistribution actually looks like. Okay, it was not going to be as pretty as I showed it, but the idea of it is exactly what it looks like. So here we have a redistribution because we are in a bearish trend as of right now, okay, just by what I'm showing you. So you can see the market gave this huge manipulation towards the upside. We came down and we broke the low. This is considered our ICE. It's the same thing as a creek, but it's for a redistribution. Okay, so boom, we have this move towards the downside, which confirms our redistribution. Now look what we have again. We have another redistribution. Okay, they're going to look most likely similar. You're going to see that huge manipulation goes to the upside and the market's going to continue down. Okay, look what we have here. Another redistribution. Okay, and as the more I go, the more you're going to start to see it. We have another redistribution. Okay, the main thing about noticing these redistributions is you're going to see that huge manipulation that takes out highs. Okay, you're going to see that huge manipulation towards the upside. Market's going to sell down. You see it multiple times as these redistributions are occurring. We can see that this redistribution right here, which was a supply zone, got invalidated. What does that mean? And exactly what did it take for us to invalidate this supply zone? That means that there had to be some type of buyers inside this market. So what happens after an accumulation? We have a reaccumulation, right? Here it is right here. It looks the exact same thing as the redistribution. Is just flipped. So remember what I was telling you guys, the market will go up and we'll start straggling down. Boom, huge manipulation towards the upside. We'll have this huge impulsive move towards the upside. This right here is our creek right there, and the market continues higher. We come back down, we mitigate the manipulation, and the market continues higher. Well, look what happens the next day. So here We come back down even lower to mitigate this reaccumulation. Then look what we have, another reaccumulation. So if I zoom in, you're gonna see it some more. We have our creek right there, manipulation towards the downside, the market goes up. All right, and you're gonna see it just occur again and again and again. We have our accumulation, right? We have multiple drives like this. This could be considered as liquidity. This is a type 2. This is our manipulation. We broke structure, we continue higher. So this can be considered an accumulation. It'd be a type 2. Look what we have after that. Market struggling to go down. Raid the lows with the manipulation. The market continues higher. This is our creek. Remember what I said, after an accumulation, you're going to have a reaccumulation. Look what happens when we continue higher after this reaccumulation, right? It's the same thing, guys. You have the manipulation that goes down, raids all this liquidity. We have our creek up here, which gets broken. We break the high. Market comes back down. We mitigate the manipulation, and then we continue higher. And ever since then, guess what we've been doing? Market goes up. We straggle ourselves down. You can see there's no willingness in buyers. Huge move towards the upside, raiding the lows. Market continues higher. This right here can be considered another reaccumulation. It'd be a higher one. Market goes up. You can see this is straggling down. We go higher. Another reaccumulation, right? This is a creek right here. And again, guys, it's the same thing over and over again. Market goes up. We straggle ourselves down, move higher. This is our creek, and we go higher. Okay. And what you can notice is you're going to notice multiple reaccumulations inside of a bullish trend. Okay. So the best ways to trade them is by waiting for the market to come back and mitigate the actual manipulation. Sometimes you won't get that manipulation, and that's okay. You don't have to trade every schematic that you see. All right, so that was kind of like a simplified version for you guys. It's really simple. There's no more to it. All it means is reaccumulation is a bullish continuation. Redistribution is a bearish continuation. So all you have to do is identify the manipulation within that, whether it is a reaccumulation or not. Identify the manipulation that was created. Wait for that break of structure. If that break of structure already happened, then you're good to look for buy opportunities or sell opportunities. All right, it is that simple, guys. Okay, so if you want more in-depth on this, you know, to get more in-depth information or just more information in general, just let me know in the comments, right? If I have to do a part 2 on this, or if you got this clearly. If not, then you can contact me on Instagram and you can get more information, whether you want to join our mentorship or you just want to talk to me personally. All right, guys, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.